Hello, Ognjen, how are you?
Hi, Doc. Nice, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
Yeah, well, thanks. So, I mean, just to go back, your last race was at the end of March in Mauritius. So
No, it was mid-March. It was 15th of March.
okay,
So it was actually the last day of ITU race. That was the same day as Mululova.
Right.
So Mululova and this African Cup was the two last races.
Yeah, and obviously the race went well for you as it had done in Chennai. So you were feeling in good condition, right? And
Yes, I had a really great winter preparation. I was in Spain for 2.5 months in December, and then January and February with some other ITU triathletes like Alarsa, Roberto Sanchez, Lasse Lours. So it's kind of international squad there. So I was really preparing good and looking forward to races because I plan to do like 5 or 6 races until May, until the end of qualification period. So Chennai was perfect, yet the only downside was that it was changed to duathlon. So obviously I won it. It went pretty well because obviously when you win, it must be perfect.
yeah,
And then I had like few weeks at home. So I returned to home, and then slowly at that few weeks, the races become canceling, I planned to do some races in China, which they canceled. Then, I planned to do World Cup in Brasilia as a part of ITU team. So that also got canceled. So like, literally in period of 10 days, like all the program changed,
Yeah.
When I went to Mauritius, I was aware that I felt lucky because like all my Spanish friends, they couldn't race, even one race. They planned to do Abu Dhabi, and like it was canceled like day before everybody went there. So yeah, being in Mauritius, I felt lucky that I will be able to have at least, 2 ITU races before everything stops.
The plan was just to go to Mauritius and then go back home, or to go where afterwards?
Yes. So the plan was like I had a scheduled flight the day after the race, and at that moment the Brasilia was on. So actually the day of the race, we got news that all ITU races are postponed until May.
Yeah.
I mean, at that moment until May, but now of course it's more.
Yeah.
But anyway, I finished the race, and at the same evening, so 15th of March, in my country in Serbia, they put measures, like they put like emergency state, and they put a rule that if I returned and I had the flight day after scheduled to go home, and the rule was that if I return, I would need to go 2 weeks into quarantine, like fully closed, like to be 2 weeks at home. So I knew like it would be zero training,
Yeah.
And also they said that pools will be closed. So all that happened the evening after the race, So my flight was tomorrow evening, and I was like, tomorrow wake up, and then like all day I was thinking, what should I do? Maybe I should stay here, because at that moment there was 0 cases here. And at my home, everything was getting closed. I would need to go 2 weeks into quarantine, which at the end was, prolonged into 4 weeks. So I'm not sure. Maybe if I went home, I would need to be like 4 weeks in home, and they were pretty strict and stuff, So at the last moment, I just canceled my flight and decided to stay here in Mauritius.
Presumably, looking back, do you feel you did make the right decision, or is it not something you really think about?
Oh, it's a tricky question. I mean, I still think it's better that I stay here, because at home I would lose like 1.5 months of swimming, and with even month without swimming, you need at least 3-4 months to return, maybe to the level where you've been before. And I fairly struggled with the swimming in the last few years. It costed me many good races, and for the last 2 winters I really improved. So I think the only good thing for staying here is that I was able to swim, but only because by accident I had a pool near the building where my apartment is here, which is like small, but I could swim in it, because like just literally 2 days after I stayed here, there was first 3 positive cases in Mauritius. And 3 days afterwards, they declared emergency state and closed everything. So like it was worse than home, like 24 hours, 7 days a week. So we were not allowed to go outside and nothing, but thankfully I managed to solve the option to run outside in the cane fields. I went to police and asked them, please, if it's possible, because there is no people. So they said, okay, you try. So I was really lucky that I was able to run outside, because otherwise it would be much worse than home. Because in Serbia, the only rule was for a few weeks that they had quarantine during the weekend. So they need to stay at home Saturday and Sunday, but from Monday to Friday they could like ride a bike or run without problems. So it was really tricky situation, but I couldn't believe that just in a matter of few days it changed so radically. All in all, March will be really bad if I return home in the beginning of April, but now it will be perfect because now the pools are open, starting to opening in Serbia. Yeah. But yes, if I went home, I wouldn't be able to swim for at least one month.
And are you there? Are you there with your girlfriend?
Yes, actually, yes. I forgot to mention that with my wife. So once I decided to stay here, we knew that the airplanes would probably not fly too much, and that I would need to stay at least 1 month. I thought that maybe after 3 or 4 weeks, situation would get better, so I would return. But still, we looked at options. So she was able to arrive here 2 days after I decided to stay. So actually, she came just 1 day before airport was closed here. Wow. Which was one funny situation. But yeah, it's great that we are together, because otherwise, if she didn't came, I would be alone here for more than 2 months. I think I would went crazy.
Have you had any interaction with other people, or with even local triathlon groups or the federation? Or
no.
Been no.
I had interaction with federation. I know the president. He organized the race. Yeah. So he tried to help me. He get me in contact with Minister of Sport. I tried to see about the options if they can give me some permissions for training, but yeah, nobody can do that. They were really strict about the rules.
Did I see the video of the pool that you were in on your Instagram? Is that the overhead shot of the building with the pool? And
yes, I think it's maybe 12 meter or no more. But it's at the first sight, I thought it's not possible to swim there. But after a few days, I get used, and I need to do a lot of turns. Yeah. But I think it's possible to if I go to normal pool now, I think in 1 or 2 weeks I will be my 100% of my old. So I will just manage to keep the training, keep the feel for the water. Yeah. Also, I did some harder sessions, So I think it's pretty nice, The thing with training is you can train 30% less, but just lose 5% of fitness. That's a good thing about the training. Yeah. It's very easy to keep high fitness, but of course that 1% which at the end decide, you need a lot of time for that. So, yeah. But just to keep the fitness, I think I did fairly nice job. If we have an important race in July, I would not have any problem to be at my top shape, especially because I had really great winter, and you don't lose training just like that. I think much bigger problem would be of 5 or 6 weeks of no swimming. Then maybe I would need full season to return, because the swimming is really tricky. Yeah. This year I had amazing training, and everybody was, I think Fernando was maybe in top shape. I think it's really bad luck it happened with the virus, because they were really ready and looking forward to some races, but and in the end they were not able to do even one race. So
are any of those guys sort of regular friends that the kind of people that you've kept in contact with during this time? Are there particular athletes that you've been kind of checking in with and so on, or not really? Has it just been kind of getting on with your thing?
Yes. We have a WhatsApp group of the Spanish group and the Spanish squad, so we were in daily contact. I think it was really, really hard time for them, because they were literally 24 hours inside and just doing indoor training. Some of them couldn't find the options for treadmill. Some of them were just able to do, indoor cycling, and, I think it's really mentally hard also. But I think they also did good, Roberto, the coach. I think they did a good thing, because they didn't obsess with training. They knew that there will not be races soon, so they just kept, training a bit, keeping fit, and then just trying to mix some, core sessions and stuff. They were doing a lot of, Zoom sessions live together, just to keep the fun and the stuff. I think they managed to, stay mentally in good shape, which I think is important, because they were 50 days into those measures, stay at home. So I can't imagine myself being 50 days locked in the house. Totally. I think I would go crazy.
It must have been pretty hard to cope with when, okay, there's going to be no races till May, and then it's no races till at least the end of June and so on. But I suppose you sort of, at least then you know what you're dealing with, right? You're dealing with certainties, and you know.
I think the good thing is that they already, like a month ago, said that, you know, there will not be qualification races this year. They will be from March next year. So actually, they just put this period, which was missing, like March, May this year, they move it to March, May next year.
Yeah.
Which will be the end of the qualification, which I think it's a good thing, because I'm 99% sure that by next year everything will be fine, because already, you know, this thing is getting better, and I think in a few months, you know, and also like now we have a Hamburg in September, and I'm pretty sure if Germans put that on calendar, that means it will, you know, it's a big percentage it will happen, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of
I think even in autumn there is a fairly nice change that we'll have some races, you know, which for sure is better than having completely year off.
And how do you think it's gonna be with the, you know, the start lists are obviously going to be massively competitive, right, and everything.
It will be funny to see how because some athletes, like, I think there was a lot of difference between countries. Some were training almost normal, some almost completely stopped, because I think the swimming is issue for most of the people. Like most of athletes couldn't swim for 2 months, and I think it will influence a lot, because swimming is a really technical thing, and you really need to feel the water. And I think with 2 months without swimming, like, I think even if there is races in September, there will be some really disappointing, I think, forms if you look at the swimming, because I know when I don't swim three weeks at the end of the season, or 2.5 weeks, like, you literally need 2 months to return to some, normal level to feeling good and feeling strong, so I think it will be a lot of, uncertainties also, depending of which countries will open, borders, which not, which athletes could travel, which not, I don't think it will be crazy, crazy too much people wanting to race. I think, not sure, but my prediction is that, it will not be, so many athletes wanted to race this year, especially because the points are not counting towards, qualification, and I don't know, that's my prediction, but maybe I'm completely wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, no, quite. I mean, I suppose it's prize money and things, isn't it, as well, that people will be...
Yes. I mean, WTS guys for sure would race if there is a race. So, like, top 50, I think if there is WTS race like Hamburg, I mean, they will for sure race. Yeah. For sponsors, for money, that's the thing.
So, yeah, I mean, from a personal point of view, then, the Olympics going back to next year hasn't made a huge amount of difference to you. It's just a sort of a case of, right, we do the same next year, and gives you a bit longer to build up to
it. Yes, exactly. Even I was a bit happy that we will have, like, normal spring next year, because already in February this year, when the races started getting cancelled, it really complicated my previous plan. Because I plan to do, those Chinese races where I usually race good and take good points, because I'm chasing world ranking list. So Conti Cups are fine for me, because I'm trying new flag, European new flag. But now, because many races were cancelled, I didn't have many options to race. Even this race in Mauritius, it was last minute change, because the races in China are cancelled, and few other Conti Cups. Rabat in Morocco was cancelled, then I think Philippines or some other races which I planned. So it was tricky, especially while being in a really good shape, So I think it's a good thing for me, because after this race, if they would say, okay, we draw the line, I would not go to Olympics, because Felix Duchamp, he's racing now for Romania.
Yeah.
He's now European new flag, but he has also a really nice chance, because he can take medals from World Cups, because he has like 3 or 4 of them. My only chance is actually that he go via Olympic ranking. So for me it's a good thing if, for example, next year in March and April he have a really good 2 World Cups, which for sure he's capable of. So he moved to Olympic ranking list, because if that happens, I have a fairly nice chance, because after him I think I'm second now on a new flag list. I also depend of Felix, so that new rule that next year there will be free or 2 or 3 months of races. I think for me that's like another chance.
Yeah.
Because if they would drop the line now, I would not go to Olympics. So yeah.
Well, best of luck with getting home, and
thanks.
what's going to be the first thing you do when you get home, do you think? Have you planned? Is there like a favourite restaurant or anything you'll go to, or like
just living the normal life would be so good, and to go to train actually without any fear of getting called by police or the stuff, you know, and going outside with the bike, because now for 6 or 7 weeks, just 2 days ago, I went first time for a ride, you know, so,
yeah.
And I'm really somebody who really like training outdoors, so, yes. Still not sure what I will do the first thing, but I will be happy, that's the fact.
Yeah, great. All right, well, thanks a lot for your time, and...
okay, no worries, you're welcome.
Yeah, hope it really is only a few weeks at the most, and
yes,
look forward to catching up with you somewhere on a circuit on a race start line soon.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much.
Okay. Cheers. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.